Felton. I am the Acting Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Education. Today I'm going to be taking you through the goals that will frame the 2014 to 2018 strategic plan for the department. We're very clear that if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there, and so we want to be very clear about the goals that we think are important and get your comments as well. Allow me to take you through. There are 6 goal areas spanning from the post-secondary education through early learning and other areas of priority for the department. In addition to that, among those goals, there are a set of priority goals that I'll go over towards the end that will be the basis of reporting not only annually but quarterly as well. For a reminder, the department's mission is actually to ensure that we provide both the opportunity for excellence and equity for every child in the country. Because of that, we've established goals that span from post-secondary all the way down to early learning, because we know achieving our goals as a country means that we have to produce excellence and equity at every step in the child's educational process. At the post-secondary level, what we found is that we've lost our edge as a country. Whereas at one time we were #1 in the world in post-secondary completion, we have actually fallen back to as far as number 12. The President of the United States has established a goal of by 2020 being #1 in the world again, and the plan that you're going to see establishes the pathway to getting there. At the post-secondary level, we believe that there are at least 3 components to achieving this post-secondary goal. The first is that we need to dramatically increase access and affordability. We've done great work as a country over the last years, but what we've recognized is that affordability in particular has outstripped many Americans' ability to pay, that we have to find ways to be successful at driving down the cost of higher education while we, and in doing so, make it more accessible to more Americans. At the same time, we cannot compromise the quality. The U.S. has one of the best higher education systems, if not the best in the entire world. Yet, as we pursue the goal of making college affordable, we can't afford to compromise on quality. Quality of the instructional process also needs to lead to great outcomes so that every student possible completes college. The degree is of very little use to folks. Going to college is very little use if students don't complete, and can add to their debt burden without the opportunity to have the increase in incomes that allows them to pay for it. You can't get to college if you don't successfully complete elementary and secondary education. We know we've got many challenges that we have to address in this space. This work started in the first term of the Obama administration of actually ensuring that every child in the country and every system is establishing standards and aligned assessments that ensure that when a child graduates from high school, that they are ready for college and career. We also are focused on ensuring that every child has access to a teacher that's highly effective and a leader who is of their school or learning environment, that it can not only ensure excellence for them, but also provide good leadership to the teachers as well. We recognize that outstanding outcomes in teaching and learning don't just come from great instructional practices, that in fact the school climate and the community play an important role, especially for children that are most in need in getting a great education. So we look at those needs of safety and health and ensuring that young people feel like they're supported in the ways that allow them to be successful. And what we recognize finally is that in the elementary and secondary spaces that we've allowed for decades now some schools to continue to fail children, where we knew that they were producing very low levels of proficiency and excellence. At the high school level, we have schools where we've known for years that they have allowed students, less than half the students, to graduate, and that we need to intervene in significant ways in those schools. That is work that will continue in the 2014 and 2018, building on the success we've had in that area over the last 4 years. I'd like to pause for a second to call out, both at the post-secondary level and the elementary and secondary level, the work that we're doing specifically around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics education. This is a priority for the country, it's a priority for the President, and thus a priority for the department as well. There are 2 goals that are sub-goals that are tied to the post-secondary and elementary and secondary goals. The first is that we actually increase the STEM pathway opportunities that ensure that more students will graduate from college in the STEM fields. We've got not only a problem with students not choosing to go into the STEM fields when they go to college, but we could more than double the number of students who complete STEM degrees at the post-secondary level if we just kept the students who originally intended to become STEM majors in those programs. At the second, one of the things that we know has been a perennial shortage for the elementary and secondary education space is STEM teachers. And so we are very focused on ensuring that we have high-quality STEM teachers and ensuring that that students, wherever they happen to be, have access to those high-quality teachers, highly effective teachers. We know that great educational opportunity starts at the very beginning, that many of the gaps that form between our students across the country form even before they enter school. We see that we are well behind other countries in the ranking of the number of our students and the percentage of our students that have access to quality early learning settings. And so we have established the goal of increasing the access to high-quality educational opportunities for very young children across the country. That has three parts to it. One is obviously increasing the number of high-quality programs and services, including upgrading the quality of many of the programs that are in existence today. Second is ensuring that the people who work in these centers are actually highly effective, that they have the training and education that they need to understand how children develop and how to support them in their development. And finally, that we have mechanisms for measuring the progress and outcomes of young children, that we know that it's very important to be able to identify the needs of young children, intervene early if they have areas where they are weak or have a disability of some kind. And the only way to do that is to have outstanding metrics and measures to ensure that we understand whether they're on a healthy developmental continuum and to let that inform the support that we're giving young children. Across all of our work, equity remains extremely important to us. The reality is that though we are continuing to make improvement in education across the country, the gaps and achievement gaps continue to exist for many populations, be it low-income students, students of color, or students with disabilities. You can see that in graduation rates. You can also see it in academic achievement rates. So there are two areas in particular that we want to focus on across our work. The first is that we actually increase educational opportunities for high-quality educational opportunities in the K-12 space for students regardless of where they are, of their ethnic background, of their gender identity, or their language background. That what we ensure is that every child in this country has access to high-quality educational opportunities, and that if there are any barriers put in that way, either unintentionally or intentionally, that we remove them. For those things where places where the local authorities are slow to provide those opportunities, we do have the opportunity to use our enforcement capability. And in those cases, we are going to be very intentional about using that authority to ensure that our high priority areas are addressed and that children have the opportunity that they deserve. We have to keep improving our education system. We have to keep leaning into the future. One of the ways to lean into that future is to ensure schools are equipped with the resources that they need. Almost every sector of our economy has been transformed by technology. Education continues to lag. One of the reasons that it lags is because the connectivity of schools is something that we have connected schools, but the speed of that connectivity now lags almost behind what most people have in their homes. Down to the student level, you can see that there's not even the capability for students to download a single video, let alone many students develop downloading videos or other resources at the same time. So what we're doing now is actually focusing in three areas to ensure this continuous improvement across the educational system. The first is what I talked about is increasing the access to high-speed broadband for every school in the country. the President announced the Connect Ed program, which is not just about connecting schools to high-speed internet, but also ensuring they have great learning experiences, that their teachers are well trained, and that they have access to high-quality digital content. All of those things will provide new opportunities for learning and continuous improvement in the U.S. education system, hopefully allowing us to leapfrog competitor nations. Second, we know that we need to continue the work that we've done to create high-quality data systems and provide transparency to all stakeholders of the system, be they students, parents, or educators trying to figure out how to improve their performance. And then finally, we know that we need to continue to build on the work that we've done to put evidence and learning about our work at the center of our reforms, so that what we can ensure is that we are putting the best possible solution in front of every child that needs one. Finally, all of these things, the real work of the department is about how we actually improve outcomes in the field. But in order to do so, we have to make sure that we have the capacity to execute. There are 4 areas that we know are essential in order to do that. The first is there are many employees here at the Department of Education who work hard every day to ensure children have opportunity. We have to make sure that they are highly engaged and that they are highly effective in their work, that they are able to deliver the kind of support to states and districts and other stakeholders in the education system that's required for them to deliver on their mission of providing every child with excellence and equity. Second, we have to manage the risk. We have to ensure that across the department that we're good stewards of taxpayers' resources, and that we're working with the states and districts to ensure that they have proper controls in place to protect those resources as well. Third, a lot of our work is about supporting others to do their work. We as a department have made a concerted effort to move away from being focused on compliance and being more focused on helping states, districts, and other grantees to be successful in their work. This will continue to be important for us, and we will be focused on building that capacity. And then finally, we know that there continues to be pressure for us to improve our productivity, to get better at what we're doing and do it with less resources. We know that in order to do that, we have to drive for stronger performance management. We have to use the latest tools in terms of information technology, and we have to do well in terms of our communications and engaging our employees to make sure that we're all putting in our best effort in order to achieve our mission. All of those things that I talked about are important, but there are a small subset of them that we've identified that we'll be especially accountable to and will report on a more regular basis. These priority goals reflect very specifically on the students' ability to compete in college, their ability to supporting the implementation of the college and career-ready standards, the ensuring that the students have effective teachers and leaders, that we turn around schools that are failing or have significant achievement gaps, that we make sure that we understand what the needs of children are and whether they're entering kindergarten ready for success. And then finally, as I mentioned before, that we're using evidence as a basis for making more of our decisions, driving more of our resources into programs that both are either using evidence as a screen or producing more evidence. That is an overview of the goals that will drive our strategic plan. We look forward to getting your comments and helpful suggestions in how to improve them. These will be made final later in this calendar year, and we will do so with the best input from all of you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. We look forward to your input.